from the IG report that led to a change in leadership at 5 positions within the IRS, from the commissioner down to the lowest senior executive within that managerial chain. They're all
maybe we ought to move maybe to the root of the problem, really. Because when we look at it, you noted with Mr. Collins, you do your own taxes. Do you do TurboTax, or do you do a
I use
long form?
I don't want to give any favor to anybody. I use a provider.
You use provider.
I use a software.
You use a provider for that. Do you know how many small businesses fill out their own tax returns and send them? Is there any kind of data on that?
I think small businesses are roughly about 80% professional preparers. So I think it's
80%. How many pages are there in the tax code?
Oh gosh, I've
70,000 plus.
Like
70,000 plus.
Very high number.
If I call up the IRS today wanting to be able to pay my taxes, to be able to do it lawfully, well, whoever answers that phone, guarantee me that their answer is correct.
That's not the way the process.
That's not the way the process works.
Yeah.
When we sign the tax return, so the IRS can't figure it out. The IRS can't guarantee us that they understand the policies that are in place, and yet we're trying to tell the American people you must obey the law. Doesn't this really call for legitimate tax reform to get a flatter, fairer, and simpler tax code, and to reduce the number of employees that you would need to manage just by making it sensible for the American people to work with?
I'll answer that question. I've been asked that question numerous times, and it's a very important and good question. 2 things. One, as a general principle, the IRS administers whatever law Congress passes, and we rely on the Treasury Department to articulate the
That's not completely
position.
true, though, is it? Simply from the standpoint, don't you issue rules and regulations that are not approved by Congress? It's your assumption that it meets the legislative directive?
Right.
But you don't come back and ask us if it meets the legislative directive.
Well, we get feedback if there's a concern about it, but the reality is we're I want to answer your
I'll tell you, as
question.
a member of Congress, a lot of the frustration really is we give the feedback and it falls on deaf ears. It's kind of the assumption we're going to be here longer than you are, and we're going to do it our own way. And that's the real frustration, I think, with a lot of the bureaucracies here in D.C.
That's the message you're getting. That is unfortunate. We want to partner with Congress. These are not easy issues. As you mentioned, the tax code is complex. Our responsibility at the IRS is to do what we can to carry out those complexities in the most efficient and effective mechanism. Very often we're successful. There are situations in which we're not. Those situations are normally publicized and raise significant concerns, and it's all valid. I think we have the same objective. Our collective objective is to provide a fair and efficient and effective tax system for the American people. From IRS's standpoint, we do deal with a lot of complexities. We want to partner with both the public and Congress and others in terms of how we can continuously improve. We have problems. I understand that. We are, whether it's the conferences or the IG report, what I'm here to say is not to excuse them. I'm here to provide transparency on the nature of the problem, what we're doing to try to fix it, how we're holding people accountable, and we can certainly talk about that, but how we're fixing it, and what are our future barriers right now? What barriers do we face right now to that goal of more effective tax administration? I just want to have a dialogue about that, and we're working on solutions at the IRS right now, and we want to work with you on those solutions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Far past time.